Hi, Real McRae here, and we are talking about days 5 and 6 of the Star Trek experiment. Things got really busy because I was getting ready for a con that was going to be coming up, as you often get ready for things that will be coming up. And it was largely Dark Shadows oriented, and it had my mind in the Shadows zone, and it's been, I gotta, hang on, pardon me. Okay, great. I've been so paranoid about this new mic working, thank you, Matthew, that I had this thing hooked into my ear, and that was super distracting. Anyway, so went to Con Carolinas, which was great. We had Catherine Lee Scott, who was there. She plays the Proto-Vulcan atheist convert figure in Who Watches the Watchers, maybe the best Next Generation episode ever, and Lara Parker, who, that was interesting, that light did kind of a funny thing when I did that. She plays a witch on the show, so on Dark Shadows, so that's appropriate. Anyway, got to lead panels, it was a lot of fun. Met Anthony Montgomery, who plays Mayweather, on Star Trek Enterprise, and he said something very funny, which is more than they ever let him do on Enterprise. But seriously, he said, I asked him, so what of these pictures that you're selling is your favorite? Sorry. And he said, well, I like this one, I like that. He had reasons for liking all of them, which was great. It was almost too much diplomacy. And then he had one from the last episode where he's in a shuttle pod and Riker is sitting in back. And he said, and then there's this one, and now, you know, I know, that last episode, not really that great, nobody really likes it, but I really like Jonathan Frakes, and so he's in there too. Well, you know what? I like Jonathan Frakes also. And there was this episode, which I talked about a little while ago, called Who Watches the Watchers, where the Traveler takes them to another dimension, which is basically the Nexus. I don't know why no one's put that together, has not put that together, but anyway, where anything you think of that you want comes true. And I don't know what it is about Jonathan Frakes, but I think if that had been an honest episode, no matter what happened, anytime he put his hand down, a mug of hearty beef stew would have reappeared in it. He just seems like a Denny Moore beef stew kind of guy. But I think that's more with the beard. I think without the beard, he's more of a, I'm going to take a chance here. He's more of a con queso man. He's more of maybe even a gazpacho man. But gazpacho, pacho, man. Anyway, but once he puts on that beard, it's all about the beef stew. What on earth does this have to do with watching Star Trek for 13, 14 hours a day? Well, it all started to get better with Shadows of P'Jem. Things are really starting to heat up with the Andorians and the Vulcans on Enterprise, and I think that's a very wise move, and I'm glad that they have some other alien voice to come in and balance the Vulcans, because how a race can be so shrill and yet so quiet at the same time is beyond me, and yet there they are. You know, I feel guilty about not saying more about the original series, but the original series, it's great. It is starting to fall into some of its own cliches. However, we had Shore Leave, and I think I may have talked about that already, but if I haven't, it has one of my favorite Star Trek quotes: the more complex the mind, the greater the need for the simplicity of play. What else did we have? On Voyager and DS9, they did stuff. You know, we really have yet to get to any meat on those bones. And with Voyager, you know, I hate to say that everything is reliant on an arc, but Voyager needed something. And I still feel like it's sort of a fringe without a center. Because what's a Voyager episode gonna be without more of an arc? Well, a Voyager, I mean, they're introducing Seska and all of that, but that's about to go away. You know, it's going to be Gilligan's Island. It's going to be Space 1999. Both of which featured Martin Landau. But essentially, you know, you're going to have a story where, hey, we think we're going to get home. No, we're not. Hey, we think we're going to, no. Hey, what, no, oh, why bother? So anyway, whereas with Dark Shadows, things are happening all the time, and the story keeps evolving, and it just draws me in. What I'm curious about are the ethical issues, and if Dark Shadows deals with as many of those. I think it deals with ethical issues, it just deals with them in a different way. We definitely have come to the issue of starship captains running into the problem of having to make choices. Star Trek, of course, like all drama, is about having to make choices. And I think drama teachers may be wrong when they say, ooh, all drama's about conflict. Yeah, it is, but that's really only part of it. The really interesting part is that all drama is about choices. It's about characters having to make tough choices and dealing with what happens as a result of those tough choices. Starship captains really hate it when they go to a planet and everybody's pretty happy because a supercomputer is making everyone's choices for them. And I know that Kirk always feels really good removing that choice, but the only reason I think he's removing that choice is that he himself has to make a choice about whether or not he's going to remove it. And it's a pain. Kirk would rather be going off to Wrigley's Pleasure Planet or something, and here he's having to figure this out. How's it going to look in the report, you know? Do I violate the Prime Directive for reason A or B? I don't know. And with that light, it's time to go. I got more Star Trek coming up. I'm going to try and catch up, and not that I'm behind, but I'm going to try and make tomorrow my day off. See you later. Bye.